Well, hello, everyone. It's Tracy and Sophie from Europe here. We are going to keep Sophie's information a little private of where she actually lives. You can tell, obviously, that she's from Europe, and we're going to, keep this interview. It's really hard for people to come on here, you guys, as I've told you before, and speak about their story. So we just want to thank you so much, Sophie, for doing that and coming on here to talk to everybody about your experience that I know is going to help so many people out there that are going through the same thing. Before we get started, thanks everyone for being very understanding. This past week, I was really sick, and pretty much the only thing I could get to was client appointments. And I really tried to rest in between. I am behind on some of my emails of people writing to me. So just I'm behind on a few things. Just, thank you for being understanding of that. Also, I have groups coming up, you guys, that I'm going to leave in the drop-down menu, as well as maybe a comment if it's allowing me to put as much. I've got it broken down into every single week of what the topic is for group. So you guys, I have it set up that you can pop in that week if that topic really interests you. Or you can sign up for the entire month, because there is a theme for the next 3 months coming up, month 1, 2, and 3, starting in February. So please take a look at that, you guys, and read it all the way through and get back to me as soon as possible so that I can get you signed up and get this going. The next prayer and fast as well is going to be the day after Valentine's Day. It's Tuesday, February 15th. So if you're interested in getting your life on track with prayer and fast, praying and fasting, and getting this narcissism off of you or any other area of your life that needs to go, please take a look at that as well. Okay, I'm done babbling. It's all you, Sophie. Thanks again for coming on the channel today. And I really, from working with you, we've been working together now about a year, and you've come so far in your healing and your progress and just the person that you are. And you and I have something very much so in common of maybe, I don't know if you do want to talk about what it is that you do. You don't have to, but I'll just say we have a lot in common of terms of how we feel about Jesus, how we feel about going out there and talking to people about him and about what we know and our experience, right? And so you're out there doing really great things, and you're a good person with a really big heart. And I know that just from the time we've spent together. We haven't just done a handful of sessions. You and I have worked together. And so I've really gotten to know you as a person. And I think you're just an amazing person. So your experience now is going to be very helpful for everybody to hear, because many of us have been in the same boat, having come out of narcissistic abusive relationships and going back out there again, putting ourselves back on the line again, trying to get to know people, trying to, find like-minded people, correct? Or,
Yes.
people that are just like us, that are sick of the crap out there, sick of the way this world is being run, and are looking for deeper meaning behind things. And so, having come out of narcissistic abusive relationships, plural, that you were in, it took you some time, and you put yourself back out there, right? Recently.
Yes.
And so I know a lot of people are thinking about doing this or wondering about doing this, and and all that comes along with that. So we'd love to hear your story.
Yeah. I start from the beginning, or
wherever you want to start. I mean, it's a good story, so take your time.
Yeah, so I got to know this guy online, and it was like 4 months ago, or like 4 to 5 months ago. And so he really came off like as a Baptist Christian, like as a real good Christian. And I thought, we would be on the same wavelength, because we are both Christian and we are both like traditional and really believe in.
Now, this was a dating site for Christians that you can meet internationally?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, so he really presented himself as like this nice guy who has like a 15-year-old son, you know, and is like such a good father and like doing his duty, working and just searching for the right woman because he repented like around 5 years ago, he told me, but he was always a Christian. This is how he presented himself. But he truly got to know God like years ago, like I said. And yeah, he presented himself like so Christian and so nice. And yeah, with like being religious, but not being like having the religious spirit, but really trying to see God, you know. And so I really thought we are on the same wavelength. And I really thought that, yeah, we 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 agree on most topics, you know. So yeah, and he really I thought that he really knows the Bible and is really truly seeking God. But the more I got to know him, the more I started doubting. And
What was
so
do you remember the first time, Sophie, that you felt like that feeling where you're like, I don't know, something's not adding up? Do you remember when that was or what it was?
yes, there were a couple of things. Basically, he was saying that like I know so much about narcissism that I really spot red flags immediately, or I note them in my head and I immediately write them down. And I would tell everybody, even if you don't think he or she is a narcissist, I would write it down immediately because you tend to forget it. So
Oh,
I do this all the
that's a good tip to give to everyone. That's a really
yeah.
good tip. Okay.
I do
So
it all the time. I force myself to do it. So even when I didn't suspect him to be a narcissist, I wrote it down immediately just to make sure. Because you
okay.
can destroy the list later. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what would you remember what you first wrote down?
Yes, I think I wrote down that what I didn't like when he said, I like a good story, or I like the way you make me feel. And there were like some things that I don't know, or I was speaking and he did this subtle ignoring. And this was a major red flag to me, like his eyes wandering off in a couple of, and that all toxic people do this.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I think he tried to not do it. But the major red flag that came on was like he was married 2 times. And obviously, I have a lot of questions. I was never married. Like, I believe in Jesus. I live in holiness. Like, obviously, I'm not perfect, but of course, I will have questions. Like, it's not evil to ask questions.
Right.
And and I wanted to know more about it. I didn't have any, evil thing in my head. I just wanted to ask questions. And I asked him, and he got really defensive and upset even. And that was like a major red flag to me. I was like, why? Like, that's so weird.
You were asking him about his marriages. Is okay.
Yes.
He got upset that you even asked.
Yes. Like, we talked about it in the beginning briefly, but then I wanted to know more, obviously. And after he said, yeah, he got upset because he told me, and yeah, he told me from the beginning, and I knew it, so why I get upset and stuff. But it has nothing to do, like, I wanted to know more details, but he kept trying to tell me what I should think, like, oh, I would never ask you about your past. Like, that's how they mind manipulate you, you know?
Yeah. Well, you guys had been talking at that point for how long, would you say?
3 weeks, I think. 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys would talk on the phone for hours at a time, right? You guys were like, connecting.
Yes.
You're having this connection.
Yes. But the thing is, we got off really well. And the first time we were Skyping, it was really good. And I thought, yeah, he's really nice. But he told me he was married 2 times, like, which I have nothing against. But for me, since I have never been married, it was like, yeah, maybe I will not date him. He's nice. But look, I have a lot of friends. I don't even know why I I put on a dating profile. It was, I don't know, I had this idea. Maybe it was not from God. I don't know now. But I have a lot of friends. I said, no, he will not be my dating partner. And after that, he had a dream, and he thought this dream is from God, and that he saw us being together. And I really believed in his dream. And like, it was like, for me, this convinced me to date him. So.
And he was from another country, right?
Yes.
He was very far from you and a very different culture from you, all together, right?
Yes.
So now, he tells you, now I wanted you to describe to everybody, really what interested you the most about him, and the countless hours you guys would spend talking about this topic and
yes,
praying together and all of this, because he understood what you were all about. Obviously you guys met on a Christian dating site, right? And so
yes,
he understood that this was very important to you. So then
yes.
this was what was occurring, correct? That got you really hooked to his heart, right?
Yes. Yeah, like, I was so naive, because like, I know so much about narcissism, and it's like just so weird to me, but we talked about this. Like, I know it's not my fault, obviously, but it's like so weird to me that I could fall for a narcissist again, because I told him everything basically after he had this dream. Like, he dreamed about our children, and like, obviously he said a detail. Like, he said that I wish that my son would have my nose. Like, this is what I prayed to God, and I never told nobody. And after that, he told me that in his dream our son had my nose, and he didn't know that.
Never told him that.
No. So either it was from God or the devil. There's no in between. No, because I never told nobody, not even my best friend. Mm-hmm. So obviously I would believe in these dreams, because he had no way of knowing, and he had more dreams, and there were some details he couldn't know. So after this, I trusted him, and I would have never dated him but for the dreams. And he knew that. He even said that, yeah, you would have never dated me and stuff like this. And yeah, I trusted him, and I told him everything about me, that I'm like basically a full-time evangelist, and that I minister to women and stuff like this. Like, I really opened up, and I even told him that I know about narcissism, and this was like my huge mistake. So yeah, basically I should have never done that after the dream opening up like this and telling him.
But this is everything. How it happens. You're spending countless hours and time together. Yes. They're asking you questions about you. You're asking questions about them. Yes. And especially in a long distance situation, this is all you've got, right? And for many of us, for many people that have gone through this, after coming out of narcissistic abuse, this feels actually at a very comfortable pace, because you're not you're not in a position to get physical. You're not in a position to, but what's happening here, which I think is actually in essence, in retrospect, I think it's actually worse, because you guys would have countless conversations about the Bible, about Jesus, and this would go on and on and on, right? Up until the point where he was like, well, I'm coming to visit you, correct?
Yes.
And you were all excited, like this guy seems like he's on my level, right?
Yes, exactly. Like, obviously I realized, because I'm spiritually really mature, not saying like I'm not there yet, I need to walk a hard walk, obviously we all have to, but I'm really spiritually mature, and I recognize he's not on my level, but it doesn't matter. Like, we are not here to judge whatever. Like, it's not that important. It's important that you love Jesus with all of your heart, mind, and spirit. And so I thought that he is all of that. And what really now is also a red flag to me, like, we kept staring into each other's eyes, and like, how did I not see it as a red flag? I don't understand now, but you just seek this connection because you are so far away, and you can basically say, okay, because we are so far away, we try to have a connection. Like, you can justify a lot of things by that. And also what I want to say is that never give too much time, because you mentioned that, yeah, I kept spending hours with him on the phone. Like when I woke up, I called him, and before I went to sleep, I called him. Never do that. That's also another tip from me. Like never do that, because I had this feeling, okay, no, we are talking too much. Because for me, it would be like, okay, let's talk 3 times a week, you know?
Yeah.
But, sorry. But I thought, okay, he wants to talk a little more. Let's call him in the morning, but not in the evening. But he wanted us to talk so much, but he made it like I wanted to talk so much. Like, so in the end, I thought that I wanted it. So it was really weird. Like they manipulate you that way.
So one of the first things you noticed about him, spot on, was his anger issues.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how did that all come about, that you were like, he seems to be, now was he moody? He would get moody, or?
No, he's really a good manipulator. Like I said, I think because he knew that I know narcissism, he kept quiet a lot. I think that was because I think in his mind it was like, oh no, she knows, so I need to come up with a strategy to get her to marry me, so I have her, and then you know the whole deal. Yeah. So the first time was basically when I asked him about his second marriage. Then he got really defensive and he tried to hide his anger like covert narcissists do, but he couldn't. But when he visited me, I tried to help him with something, and it was something minor, like some food, like opening the food. And I helped him, and he got so angry because like he's the man, you know, and I was like in shock, like how you get angry about something that small.
Yeah. So the first time he came to see you, now he was very respectful, right? He didn't try to be physical with you. You guys were trying to keep this Christian thing going.
Yes.
A Christian thing, but you know, to be, I'm trying, I said that very disrespectfully. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand.
You know, because that's important for us that are trying, we're born again, whatever word you want to use, born again, delivered, realize that fornication doesn't work. So he did all the right things, but you did recognize that he had this anger issue. So when you brought it up to him, he admitted he did, right? And he admitted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He after he came back, like even on the spot, because I have dated a lot of narcissists. I address issues. I don't try to sweep them under the carpet. And I told him, look, like, why you got so angry, like immediately. And he tried to not talk, but I would make him talk. And he said, yeah, I'm sorry. I know I just got annoyed, but it's not a big deal. But in my, like, I accepted it because he was there in person. I didn't want to make it a big deal. But in my mind, I didn't tell him, but in my mind, that was like, no, that's not okay. Like,
yeah.
No.
So then, now, did he get deliverance while you guys were dating?
Yes.
Okay. So how did that whole thing go?
Yeah, after he flew back to his country, I had no peace, but I blamed the distance between us. I was like, no, I fell so much in love with him and I can't get over this distance. I miss him. That's why I feel weird. Like I tried to explain it to myself. Yeah. Okay, so we kept talking a lot like we did before, and he, like, I confronted him with things that didn't add up. Like I told him, you tell me you love me so much, you're so interested in me, but why don't you ask me more questions? Like it's weird to me. Or when I told him something from outreach, like some people accepted Jesus Christ, or something really cruel happened, or some woman was crying when I was praying for her, he says he's so into Jesus and he loves that I'm evangelizing and helping other people and stuff, like living for other people. But then when I told him, he says, oh, that's good. Like, what? It's like, it means like I'm not even interested. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And in other words, he's sitting there while you're talking, thinking of his next motive, his next move.
Probably.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
told you that he went and got deliverance, right?
Yes. Basically, when I told him that he doesn't ask me questions and stuff, like he seems so uninterested, which is like even weird to ask, but whatever. He got angry. And also another time when I confronted him that he wouldn't have enough time for me, he got also angry. And I told him, look, you have this anger issue, like you really need deliverance. And we talked about it, and he wouldn't want to do it.
To go back, you meant enough time, because if you guys were talking about if you were to go there, he was to come here,
Yes.
right? I just want to clarify, you didn't mean
Yes.
enough time on the phone, you meant enough time.
Yes.
Because you guys were talking about long-term stuff at this point. Okay.
Yes, exactly. How he would manage his time to yeah, for us to have time together, basically to pray, to fast, to, you know, to do the good things, and which he claimed he was all about. So it's like, it wasn't me putting it on him. Like he claimed he loves Jesus so much and all this. So okay, when will we have time to do all those things, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a normal question to
And just
ask.
asking that question, he went off the deep end. So you told him, you put it in place, we need to get you should seek deliverance. So then
Yes.
what did he do?
So yeah, basically I brought it up again because I don't know, he wasn't sure. Like he told me he doesn't know Christians could have demons or have oppression or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, but I kept bringing it up again like 2 or 3 times. And after that, he went for deliverance for like a brother I know. He prayed for him. And after that deliverance, I was really reassured. Like after that deliverance, we talked and he said, yeah, it was so good. He feels like lighter, you know. But later on, he told me, like after that deliverance, he seemed so good, you know. But later on, he told me, yeah, but maybe it's only in your mind. Maybe it's just I felt relief because I thought that I have relief, like basically a psychological thing, you know. So I could really see that he didn't really mean it, you know.
Or he didn't believe in it, or he didn't really believe in it or have the faith in it. Or as we know, people can go get deliverance and it's a joke internally because they've already given themselves over to the other side, and they have not revoked or rebuked or renounced it. So okay, so let's talk about, he came for the first time and you still had some sort of confusion, and when he came the second time, this is going on now 5 months of you guys talking and dating this long distance. So he's coming, but you had some doubts, right? Before he came out the second time, you were having some doubts about his anger issues that seem to be still there and prevalent, right?
Yes.
So I wanted you to see if you could walk everybody through, you know, some of the events that happened, and then your decision to do what you did to get your truth, to really get truth.
Just about the deliverance, I wanted to say, I think even though he's a narcissist, I think in that moment he really got a little bit of relief. But I think the demons inside of him or around him, whatever, or the negative oppression, whatever you want to call it, I think it is too strong because they come into agreement with these evil spirits. So I think that's why in the moment he felt a little bit of relief, truly. I saw it in his eyes, but the next moment, you know,
it was bad.
Because they love the darkness. So
we know why it didn't go away, and we're going to get to that.
Exactly. Okay.
But also, you guys had some conversations around the topic of a certain thing that Christian men are doing that we wonder if should they be doing it or not doing it, right? You guys had that topic, and it did, and you felt in your heart he wasn't being honest with you. And for many of you that are wondering, we're talking about masturbation, all right? And you know, listen, you're supposed to be talking, you know, you're in this to try and find somebody as a life partner. Aren't most people who are dating, unless they're on the other side doing the other thing, and they're just
Yeah.
jumping around in bed with folks. You're not doing those things, and this is the whole purpose of dating. You date someone to see that if they match your needs, you match theirs, you're on the same page with things. And that's a very big topic of understanding, is somebody on the same page with that or not. So you
Yeah.
kind of felt in your heart that he wasn't being honest, correct?
Yeah, I asked him about it basically. I just wanted to know because I like, it's so funny because narcissists tell on themselves. They tell on themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And we just don't want to see it, or like, I'm not putting the blame on us, but we don't want to see it. And when we are talking about masturbation, he told me, yeah, that's so disgusting. I never want to hear anybody talk about this. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. You want to get out of this topic, but I kept it there. Like, I'm like this person, like I keep things, and then, you know,
once you
so,
know,
yeah,
like you feel convicted with it, you'll let it go, but you weren't feeling convicted about that.
exactly. And like, I hear God's voice, like I hear, like I don't hear a voice, but I perceive his voice. So then I was like, no, I need to ask him again about it. And then it was a total shock because he told me, yeah, 1 month before we started dating, he stopped. Like, when we started dating, he stopped. He did it the last time 1 month before we started dating.
Oh,
So that
they all say that. I'm laughing, I'm laughing now for my Christian men out there that are listening, that really follow and are done with their old lifestyle that they might have lived, and are really understanding that there's a way to live out there, and we're trying to do it now. We've all made our mistakes. We've all walked in paths we know it didn't work out. So this is important to you. Once again, what I really want to stress about this is this kind of stuff, believe it or not, makes or breaks the foundation of a relationship, because this is the foundation of a relationship. And if it's cracked from the get-go, it's not going to work. You got to be totally honest with each other, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent, right? You got to be honest. So yeah. So you just kind of felt like, I don't know about that, like,
yes.
now all of a sudden the story's changed. Oh, I was doing it and I stopped a month before we dated. Oh, and then I did it one more time before we did. It's just like, which one is it? Which story is it? And when you caught him in one story and then now they got another one, there's probably 10 more behind those stories.
Well,
he likes a good story, remember?
Yeah, he told me that. Yeah, but he wasn't lying about it, but he tried to escape from the topic. That's what I realized at the first time. And when I asked him about him, he was honest. But the problem I had with this was yeah, maybe. But the problem I had with it was that, okay, you repented like 3 years ago or more, and then you're still having all these issues, like more issues, and it's like, it doesn't add up to me. Like, obviously we are not perfect in 1 second, but I have many brothers and sisters, and like all of our stories are like, Jesus convicts us on stuff. It's not like we repent and then nothing changes. Sorry, I never heard this story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, I have a
go ahead.
Sorry, I have a brother, just to give an example, and he repented like 2 years ago. He was totally non-Christian, and he just got convicted and born again and everything, and he's not perfect now, okay, but he immediately stopped smoking. Okay, it's not a big thing, and I felt the same. Like, when you repent, immediately God will take something from you, or at least in a very short time. And I told him, okay, I don't judge you. Look, I don't judge you. It's okay. But what did change after you repented? There was no answer. That's weird. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and once again, I don't care if people agree with that or don't agree or think that's too far or not too far. Many of us know, because we walked it, talked it, lived it, and also yoked up with people that did not agree with these type of topics, and we saw what that leads to. So it's very important to you to bring these things up while you're dating, and I commend you for that, for doing that, because these are not easy topics to have conversations with, you know, and get to know someone and ask them their thoughts on it, and hope that that they're being honest, because that's all we're looking for. You know, we're looking for honesty, regardless of what the truth is. Just tell the truth. Who are you? Come clean with who you are, and you know. But, okay, so now he's there. Tell us the now, did the lighter thing come before the anger you were seeing, or what? Which one came first?
That one thing I wanted to say, that's also a major mistake we make. Like, we need to ask more questions. That's all I wanted to say. Like, we need, because even if they lie, with the answer you can see, you can discern. Exactly. So so when he got there, about the anger, I always could, like, he tried to hide the anger. I think he wanted to smarten up and try to hide the anger until we are really together and he has me or whatever. But he couldn't. Like, I'm not blind. Like, you can see when a person gets like passive aggressive, like the covert narcissist gets, and you could just see it, like, with such minor situations. And also, when one time he really blew up, but he couldn't control it anymore. So that was really disturbing to me, that somebody could get angry because he has to go to the kitchen to take something, you know, like passively.
So you picked up on that because you're smart. And then to tell the story about the lighter.
Like we were in the kitchen and he took a lighter and he put it to my arm, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is not normal. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, my dad did it to me and I do it to my son. Like, I'm just messing with you. And he was like, I think he was smirking. Like, we all know that.
That's like sociopath. That's a sociopathic behavior right there, or psychopath. They're just seeing your reaction, just seeing how you're going to react to it. That was a test. Oh, if she laughs about this with me, what else can I get away with? When I'm I mean, who the heck does that at somebody's? He's in your first of all, right away, you noticed everywhere you guys go, he was checking out other women. You saw that.
Yes, but the first time he came here, I think he tried to hide it, but I saw a little bit. And after I called him out on stuff, he didn't care anymore, I think, or maybe he thought he has me in his bag, or I don't understand it. But then I really saw it. Like, he looked at every woman, and I never experienced this in my whole life. And I dated like a couple of narcissists, like just dating, you know, getting to know, and then I told them no. But I never saw like this, never in my life, never. I was in shock, total shock.
So at this point, you're how many days into him visiting you, and you're like, I need, now you asked him, right? You straight out asked him, so have you gone off that dating website that we met on, or any other dating websites that you were on? And he said, yes, I got off. When did he tell you he got off the dating websites?
Basically after 4 weeks when we started dating, or like when we were meeting on Skype online, he told me that, I told him, look, I want to give it a shot, you know. I delete my profile because anyway, I'm sorry, I don't care about this profile. Even if I wouldn't meet him, I think I would have deleted it anyway. So it doesn't matter to me. So I told him that, and he said, oh yeah, I will delete mine too, and so on. Okay, perfect. Well, no problem. And even before he came, I think maybe God told me, but I have no idea, but I had this thought that look at other dating websites. And I was like, no, I don't have time to check if he's on a dating website. And I pushed it back into the back of my mind. But when he came here, I saw on his phone that he had deleted emails from this dating website, which he claimed that he deleted the profile, and from another dating website.
Yeah, he had another name, right? He had an anonymous name
Yes.
he was using. So he
Yes.
tells you that he got off. He did get off
Yes.
of that profile that you met him on, but had a second profile up with no picture on,
Yes.
where he was deleting emails and deleting what he was really doing on there. So the entire time he was dating you, for those however many, you guys, a month into it, you had the conversation and he said he was getting off. So he's
Yes.
literally there in your country, with these dating, and it had you not looked at his phone, you would
Yes.
have never known. You would have
Yes.
never known. So,
But yeah, but basically he gave me his code, and he told me I can look at his phone. Okay, so that's what I did. Like, what, like he thinks that like I'm so naive that I wouldn't look at his deleted emails or something. Like, I yeah, if I can tell you one thing from experience, even all the viewers, if you don't believe it, believe me, even if they give you the password, whatever
yeah,
they give you, they think that you will find nothing because they delete a lot of stuff. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
But I can promise you, maybe not the first time, but the second or third time you look at their phone, you will find something. I promise.
yeah.
For sure. For
Some
sure.
people would sit here and argue and say, well, if you go looking for something, you're going to find it. Listen,
No.
you know something? This was major information, because number one, what did it tell you? It tells you that he's a liar. So if he's
Yes.
lying about something like that to you, he's lying
Yeah.
about other things. Guys, you need to pay attention to this. Lies always mean there's more. So if you catch them
Yes.
in a lie, that means there's more and more and more and more and more coming, because one lie
Yes.
always means more. And so here you are, you got your information, and that was when you made the deciding point, like, I'm going to let him get on his plane tomorrow or whatever, and I'm done. You knew it.
Yes.
Like, I'm not, and this is how it's got to be. It's got, no matter if your feelings are connected, your emotions are connected, he connected, he got to you, a spiritual connection and an intimate connection, and
Yeah.
for many, if not most of us that are decent, good-hearted people, that means everything.
Yes.
That togetherness, that intimacy, that being on the same
Yes.
page. So he got you there. He got you
Yes.
there with all of that, knowing full well it's perfectly, this is the world we live in, guys. It's this world of, hey, if they don't know about it, it ain't gonna hurt them. And that's just wrong. And people live by this. They go about, they do these things. I know about people that they were doing this stuff up until they think that, oh, I'm getting married, it'll stop once I get married. These people, this is
Yeah.
in their DNA.
Yeah.
It's in their decisions that they've been making their entire adult life, and they're not going to stop making these decisions.
Yeah.
And the decision is, I'll do what works for me. I'll do what makes sense to me. And the selfishness, they could care. And that's, I think, the worst part, isn't it, Sophie? You realize
Yeah.
that someone that meant that much to you, you put, I said this to a client the other day, when good people go out and we love, we give our everything. We give everything we have. We give our whole selves in it. We're not faking it. We're not giving, we're not dipping our foot in it. We're putting our entire selves into that, because that's who we are. We're not half, what kind of people.
Yeah.
And that's how we love. And so the worst part is realizing you loved this person, and this person literally, you meant this much to them, this much to be able to do that. Let's face it.
Yes.
And people can
Yes.
sit here and be like, well, it doesn't necessarily mean you didn't care about her. I'm sure you really cared about her and loved her. No, because what, you wouldn't, this is the problem with society. You see it when people are dating. They go out on these dates, and these guys will take a woman out on a date, and they'll be waiting for them to offer to pay half and things of this nature. There's no more like chivalry anymore. There's no courtship. It's just, it's this mentality of, I'm not going to put my whole self into anything. I'll wait and see what you're going to do, and then I'll decide. It's this selfishness. Like, why not, he's been dating you for a long time, 5 months. Why not delete all that and go all in with someone and try it out, but no.
Yeah.
Not the lying narcissist.
Yeah.
and I want to make the point too, before I let you continue talking, that
Yeah.
the long distance is so much easier for them to parade around as a kind of a person that they know you want them to be, because all the, he was studying you, he was watching you talk, he was taking everything in and knowing exactly what you want out of a relationship, and he masqueraded as just that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're so right. And I think the problem is for us who attract these narcissists, like we project ourselves on them, and that's the major mistake we make. Like we think because I am this person, he must be this person, but that's so wrong. But they also manipulate us because they say, I would never do that. Like if you say something like, I told him, for example, I think if you watch pornography, which obviously you shouldn't do as a Christian, it's like cheating. And he said, yeah, that's so right. Like you are the first person, finally somebody says that this is cheating and so on. And I felt like, yeah, he's totally on my page. So it's not only us projecting ourselves onto them, but they also give us the confirmation by manipulation. So yeah.
Well, it's once you catch him in a lie, it discredits every single thing that comes out of their mouth from here on out. You're done. When you've done the work on yourself and you've done the healing, and once you see what they're really made of, and sometimes it takes that one moment or that one sentence that comes out of their mouth, and you're just like, what did you just say? And you go back and you're thinking about it, and then you bring it up to them, and they're ticked off because they know that something, why would you even make a statement like that? Or why would you even say that? Or why would you even do that? And that's it.
Yeah.
And it takes, and for people like us that have been through this, we've been around the block with this kind of crap. That's it. And I commend you for that, because that was healthy. I want people to see 5 months at a long distance, you met each other twice. Perfect. Bingo.
Yeah.
That gave you enough information. You didn't sleep with them. You understood what was happening. You saw it for what it is. You're done. And and now you're going through the disappointment of that. It's disappointing regardless. It's heartbreaking because you still put yourself out there, but that's the right amount of time, 3 to 5 months.
Yeah, it was like 4 months. Yeah, like 4 to 5 months. But like I put on my thinking hat, like it's okay to have feelings for somebody. I wouldn't never condemn yourself, I would say. Yeah.
Yes.
But also then take your feelings aside and put on your thinking hat and try to think logically and try to listen to God. Like I try to calm myself down, really put my phone on silent and everything, and just pray to God and receive from God. And then you can really tune out every other evil voice. And that's how I got to, okay, you need to check his phone. Okay, you need to be smart about this. And everything works by the power of God. But basically also what I want to say is some people might disagree, but you can really know a narcissist from the beginning. Like they give themselves away, like I said before. Like he said like weird things, like cute things, but weird things, like, oh, I like a good story, or you are like a new puppy, or I like the way you make me feel, or I love the way you make me feel. Like all these things, they might seem minor, but don't ignore them. I can just say, I could have ended the relationship after the first time he visited me. I wanted to. But then I wanted also to doubt myself, and because he had all these dreams, like I really thought that they're from God and that I'm just overreacting.
It's so, I just have to say though, if people can't see, and yes, I try to link up people all the time. That's why I have this Discord that I put together. I have the Zoom social I put together. I try to let people come in together in groups so that they can meet one another and have fellowship with each other. And people have, and I there's like a celebration in the heavens every time that people are linked up, that are on the same level, and think the same and operate the same in their spirit. But I just want to say, it is very sad. It is a sad, I'm going to let it be said. it's negative, but it's the truth. It's a sad, sad reality and sad world out there
Yeah.
when you've got to always be, you know, thinking 20 steps ahead, watching everything that you say.
Yeah.
You know, when like I said, when you fall for someone and you're enjoying this connection and this new relationship, and it feels really good, you know, and especially when you haven't had that in a while, and it feels good to actually be vulnerable again and put yourself out there again.
Yes.
And that feels really good too. And they leave you in the, you know, they leave you in the dust to just rot with their behavior that is just
Yeah.
not, it's just
Yeah.
not of God. You know, I
Yeah.
want to remind everyone too that you always got to ask yourself that the stunts that they pulled, this is all you need to say. You don't have to do the whole, are they a narcissist? Are they a bipolar? Maybe they have schizophrenia. You know, all these things that you can sit there. The bottom line, I don't care, because that's on them to go get their own help and go get the right help for themselves, you know. Go to the right kind of deliverance minister, you know. We got deliverance people that call themselves deliverance ministers and pastors out there, and they're misogynist. They're literal misogynist out there that you know, and you're going to have their hands over you, praying over you. You're going to be in even worse trouble when you have somebody like that saying prayers over you. I'll tell you right now, don't ever trust somebody that says in their ministry, I'm not a misogynist, but you just gave yourself away right there, buddy. You just gave it away. Like you said, they'll give it away. Look, the bottom line is, you know, you're putting yourself out there, and if you want to get back out there, I think, if I correct me guys if I'm wrong, I think you're going to have to go through a lot of frogs to finding the right person. And I love your advice of, if you're just dating somebody, especially from another country, you know, and no matter what, even if they're around the corner, that phone stuff, yeah, limit that in the beginning, you know, limit how you're spending your time together. If you can go out on dates, you know, go out on dates, go home, make it in your mind that it's going to be 2 hours and you're going home, because you can get wrapped up in conversations with people for hours that are just the wrong people. They'll play that role. And so the name of this video is The Narcissist is literally two people, and you saw it. You saw it.
I saw it. It was literally, like you say, it's two people. Like, it was literally this person who gave his life to Jesus, who really tried to be good, holy, whatever you want to call it, you know, reading the Bible, and this total different person who didn't care about hurting my feelings, didn't care about me, really cared only about the Bible in a religious sense, like trying to justify his sin, having like half-naked woman on his phone and telling me that it's funny and nothing wrong with it. Like, even if you would say, okay, I repent for it, whatever, but like saying nothing wrong, it's like two people in one person. It's like, literally, I know narcissists, but it's the first time I really saw it like with 100% conviction, like it was really true. But what I also want to say is that I really feel convicted, and I really don't feel like a victim now. I feel like God allowed it, basically. I know it sounds so weird, but I think in some kind of way God allowed it, and he wanted to teach me a lesson to be really firm about my boundaries, which I was. But and he wanted to show me how strong I am, and also how much I love myself, and how much more I should love myself, and how much I love him, like more than anything. And like, I feel so empowered, but obviously I'm sad, and I'm not even angry. I have no bitterness. I don't know. I love this person, but I feel sorry for him, but it doesn't help him anyway. Like, I will pray for him, and I don't know. It taught me so many things, and maybe God wanted to round it up. And I I really don't think, I don't know if dating websites are the right thing to do. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think I will pray to God and just God will lead me. I really don't think I have to be like, oh, I need to meet somebody, or like to care too much about it, or care not at all about it. Like just be guided by God's eyes. Like God guides us by his eyes. I love that psalm, you know.
Yes. Yes.
He's
You
so
know, and this
perfect.
goes, guys, this goes for friendships too, because
Yes.
many of these long distance things, they start out as friendships, or I got a lot of people. I just worked with someone last week that had a 40-year friendship that she had to end 4 years ago. And it still really bothers her that this woman she was friends with for 40 years of her life could say the thing that she said to her at the dinner table in front of other friends. And she just, we had a session about like how, did she change? What the heck, who, but I love what she said to me. She says, I don't care what her problem is. I really don't care. The fact that she said what she said to me, and she wasn't even apologetic the next day or took time to reflect and say, wow, I'm really sorry that I said that or that I hurt you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. Nothing.
Yeah.
And she said, it bothers me. We were so close. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened, but all I know is I don't care what age I am. I don't have to tolerate mistreatment. And this is a woman that's in her 70s. She's smart as a whip. Like that's the truth. That's the reality of it. You don't have to tolerate mistreatment, abuse from anybody. And I don't care. I don't care who it is, and it hurts and it's disappointing and it's overwhelming at times. And it's, you're trying to process all this, but I just, I think your story is really helpful for people that are going to get back out there again and try to meet other people, try to yoke with other people, have friendships, have whatever connections. People are dying right now. People are dying for connections with other like-minded people right now because the world is just upside down. And I think you did everything right. You did everything right. And you listened to that bird on your shoulder, which was, you call it angels, God.
Jesus.
Your intuition, you listened. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, like Jesus is always there for me. Obviously, I got off the rails somehow and I believed in the dreams. I think Jesus knows my pure heart, like that I tried to follow him and tried to believe in the dreams, but obviously he warned me, so it was good. But also like you said, it doesn't even matter. Like this woman said, we don't have to diagnose people. Like this guy I dated, he had like these anger issues and really was not loving towards me and like didn't really seem interested in me. And like it doesn't even matter if he's a narcissist or not. Like he's not, I wouldn't want to be with this person basically. So I think that's the bottom line too. So
listen, you and I were discussing too that since we were, you and I appreciate, and I've always been this way. I mean, I appreciate different cultures, different ethnicity, different ways of living. I just always have been fascinated by like, foreigners and people that have, you can find different culture within 40 minutes from here. I could go back to Providence and I'm going to find all different types of culture than I would out over here. So I've just always been a person that appreciates culture. And I know a lot of people are like this, attracted to that sort of a thing. I mean, my first little, actually, he was my second little boyfriend I think from second to third grade. I dated my little boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, was Filipino, and it's like, and everyone in class would be like, why, and his name was Philip and he was Filipino. He was from the Philippines and I loved him. And because he was just so unique and different. And, a lot of us are like this, but we got to be careful because there's a lot of predators that prey upon to you. To him, you were a foreigner, you were a foreigner, like a foreign woman that maybe, she'd be more submissive or more like, we got to be careful of this thing too. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
They look
Yeah.
upon that as like, maybe the cultural difference here would be that you would be more apt to dealing with my crap because you wouldn't be so keen to it. So this narcissism thing, we've got to spread throughout as much as possible to everybody,
Yeah.
every culture, every country out there.
Yeah.
And really, like, you guys watching this is what we've got to do. We've got to spread the awareness, the education to
Yeah.
people so that they know these people, they're subtle in how they do things. This guy was very subtle in how he did it. He spent a lot of money to come out and see you, but you saw the real, you saw it for what it is. He's a liar.
Yeah.
Done deal. You lied.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we talked earlier, like yesterday when I was in evangelism, I literally thought about it, that there's like two kind of people. The kind of people who hurt others and they care about it because every one of us will hurt somebody else. Like, we don't do it on purpose. And other people who just don't care hurting other people. And that's what it gets down to, I think, like, okay, you hurt somebody, you care, you apologize. That's all about love and Jesus, but not caring about hurting somebody or even intentionally hurting somebody, that's evil and wicked. And and that's what it's like. Two kind of people, in my opinion. Obviously they can repent, but as long as they don't repent, have nothing to do with them. Don't sit with them, like, don't have anything, because they won't change because you love them. They don't want your love. That's the best. Like, people think they can love a narcissist into changing. You can never do that, because a narcissist doesn't want your love. He even like laughs about you loving them, and also
or hates you for it. They end up hating you for loving them.
They think we are weak because we really love. And like a few weeks ago, I realized that Jesus, like, he said, oh, if you hate your brother, you already committed murder. And I never understood this Bible verse, but I understand it now, because it means that this is how serious God is taking abuse. He's not lied on it. Like, we Christians might be lied on it. Oh, why don't you accept, like a pastor saying to the wife, oh, why you are so rebellious to your husband? Yeah, he's a covert narcissist and he totally has two faces. But Jesus takes it very seriously. And Jesus don't make exception. Oh, because you're a woman, you need to. No. God is not a respecter on person. If you abuse people, you will get what you have coming for you if you don't repent, or if you,
Amen.
God knows the heart. He sees our heart.
Amen.
And he's perfect.
And I love what you said too about that. You can love him, and you can love him,
I love him.
and you can pray for him, and you don't have to. Sometimes we go through the stages, and at first we're angry and we're upset and we're hurt. And then you think about it and you're like, it's not worth it. I do love this person. My love for them was genuine, real. It was the real deal. I really loved what I thought that they were and what they presented. And I still will pray for them, because I will say this too, not every aspect of a narcissist is bad. That's why people stay. We don't know at the end of the day which parts were real, which parts were inauthentic, but all we do know is when we see the truth and they are showing us the truth, either by a statement they make that you're like, yeah, I see that you hate women, and or it's a that they're lying. You saw that on their phone. That's it.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, and I think that's also the mistake we make, or I made, at least in my past, and I think many other ex-partners, I don't want to say victims, we see that they are lying and we say, oh, okay, but that's only a minor lie, and it's not a big deal. But believe me, no. If you see who a person is, believe them the first time. It's just true. And I'm only that strong because I went through so many things in my life, and because I love Jesus more than anything. That's the only reason I'm like so strong. But I would say to other people who are not there yet, that don't condemn yourself. If you are angry at the narcissist, get angry. Just let your feelings out. Never stuff your feelings, because it leads to oppression, and then it leads to depression. Yeah, depression
Yes.
in English.
Yes.
And that's never good. So let it out, because it's a righteous anger. Anger is not always bad. It's a motivation to change something. So if you are angry, don't stuff it in.
Yeah. Because people like you and I and the rest of us out there that operate this way, we're going to make changes from within on something like this. And we're not going to let something like this lead us to the trenches with them and go down into the depths of despair that they live in. We're not going there. Listen, I would keep you on for another hour, but because I'm doing this juicing stuff that I'm doing, I have to pee so bad. I'm sitting here like, so we thank you so much, Sophie, for coming on the channel. Did I call you the right name that we're calling you?
Yes.
Sophia or Sophie? But we're keeping her information private. So anyway, I'm sorry, I forgot the name we were going with.
Sophie's perfect.
Okay. Oh God, I never can keep up this stuff when I mess up in a video. Well, you're just so lovely, and thank you again for coming on here to talk, because I know a lot of people are in the same boat and wondering. We can see how strong that you are, and that's the most important thing, is that you didn't let this break you. It was another experience. Like you and I were talking earlier, we feel like the devil is going to go in such ways that you and I saw in 2021. We saw like the devil work in ways. I mean, you know, people that don't know how the spiritual warfare works out there, they really don't understand how strategic this is and how it's done. And we saw it operate in ways that were like levels above even what we could think could come into our life and operate. And it did, and it happened, and it taught us so much, right? And I think going into this year, I know I can speak for myself, when it was an eye-opening experience for me. I'm just looking at everything now, like you said, objectively, to see that, you know, there's a lot more work. Obviously, we all have more work to do within ourselves, but I agree with you about the spiritual maturity and just knowing that, you know, sometimes people can take you off your beaten path and bring you down into places that you haven't been in a while. And when you see that kind of stuff happening, it's time to smarten up, level up, put the armor on, and get where you know you're supposed to be. Somebody recently asked me, you know, I don't know who the heck said it. They said, oh, I hope that you find your husband this year. A few people have said that to me. And I said, you know what? In the last 22 years of my life since I started dating, every time that someone has come in my life, it's distracted me from my goals. And until I reach my goals right now, like that's my main focus and priority. Like, I'm not accepting any more distractions in my life. The time I have to give right now, I got to work on my goals, and that's just it. And I know a lot of people are with me on that. We don't even have time to even think of that or want it.
No? But what I forgot to say is that I think God really allowed it. I really think that. And also, I think he might even have orchestrated it to teach me major lessons, or to make me even stronger. Like, I feel so much stronger, even though I'm sad, obviously. But also, I think he wanted me to kick off marriage from this pedestal. To kick it off finally. And I feel like he's finally have, because I told to Jesus, like, Jesus, I love you so much, but I think it's on the pedestal of my heart. I need to kick it off, and I kick it off now. Like, I feel so good. And I think Jesus is always there for him if you call upon him. Like, he will never leave you nor forsake you. Never, never. He's perfect. 100%.
And I agree with you. These lessons were for me. They absolutely were. It has nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with what it was going to do to us. And I love that. And I hope you guys get the same thing going forward. And guys, don't forget to take a look at the groups coming up week to week, what we're going to be working on, because I do feel like this is spiritual, but we have things that we can be doing day by day that we can get this off of us, and that we can get to a level that we're leveling up for this year, and being the best version of ourselves possible. So thank you again, Sophie, for being
You're
here.
welcome. You're welcome.
And we will definitely have you on again. I love you, and I think you're just an amazing person, and you know that I feel that way about you. And yeah, guys, please leave some comments for her and let her know what you got out of this video, or anything you'd like to share that you had, maybe some comparisons to this. It would be interesting to read your comments. Once again, I am Traceface, and it is always time we face the truth together. By the way, when I hit the end button for the recording, it's going to shut us off. So I will talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.